All right, Grand Slam track Miami day one is in the books, and I have three key takeaways. There was tons of performances, but three takeaways that I have from day one. First off, the women's 100-meter hurdles is as competitive as ever. We just saw Masai Russell run an American record, the #2 all-time performance, 12.17 seconds, and she was run to the line by Tia Jones, who ran the #3 all-time performance with 12.19 seconds. Both of them just off the world record of 12:12 set by Tobi Amusan all the way back in 2022. This just just further highlights how competitive the women's hurdles are right now. Two women running as fast as ever, head to head to the line, some of the fastest times ever. This was an extremely competitive race that, perfect wind. I think it was like 2.0 meters per second. This again highlights how competitive the women's hurdles are, and you cannot let up a foot. Akira Nugent got third place running 12.3 seconds. Even someone like Kenny Harrison ran 12.4 and was all the way down in the middle of the pack. So I love the competition. Miramar here, Miami, Miramar, the wind was perfect for majority of the races. Of course, the women's 100 was a little bit windy, but this was, again, just another highlight of how competitive the women's hurdles are. And it's almost impossible to predict who will really come out on top in any given race in these women's 100-meter hurdles. So shout out to Masai Russell, #2 all-time, Tia Jones, #3 all-time, 7:17, 7:19, 12:17, 12:19, #2 and #3 all time. Amazing performances. The second thing to take away from here is that Jereem Richards should not be slept on and is a true double threat. 19.86 seconds, just literally the same time as Alex Ogando, who ran 19.86. Jereem actually spoke about in his post-race interview, he said that, Alex Ogando has been one of his toughest competitors over the years. We know that Alex Ogando has been, in every single global final dating back to 2022, in the 200-meter dash. Jereem Richards is a 2017, World Championship silver medalist, bronze medalist in the 200-meter dash. Though he stepped up to the 400 over the past kind of 3 years or so, right? 2022, 2023, 2024. Individually, we saw him get 4th place at the Olympic Games, running 43 seconds, just missing the podium. But he has proven that he is not to be slept on when it comes to the 200. He's not letting up there. 19.86, I think, is the fastest time that he's run since, 2022, right? That was when he ran 19.83. He ran his personal best of 19.80. So Jereem Richards clearly in great form, and Alex Ogando just, getting slightly leaned out, but with the same time of 19.86. We knew that coming into this field, all these guys in the 400-meter group were going to be very competitive in the 200 because you had guys like Jereem Richards, Alex Ogando, you had Zeze, you had Stephen Gardner. All those guys have run sub 20, but Jereem Richards kind of putting his foot down and proving, listen, I'm still a 200-meter runner and I'm a 400-meter runner. I'm not to be slept on. I'm a true double threat. This, to me, gives someone like Jereem a lot of confidence probably going into that 400 because now he knows, listen, I came off a 100-meter personal best, right? 10.16 seconds. I just ran my fastest 200, in a couple years, 19.86. Now I'm going into the 400. I've been working as a 400-meter runner. He also said that he was, dealing with some sickness over the past couple weeks or so. So he hasn't been able to train and do workouts like he expected. This was a huge, huge performance for Jereem Richards. It was also interesting. I spoke with Stephen Gardner after the race as well. He finished kind of down the pack, unfortunately. He said that he was dealing with head cold over the past couple kind of weeks, and it kind of set him back in training and different things like that, so he wasn't able to perform to the best of his abilities. Though we did see him win a 200 a couple weeks back. He won a 400 I think at LSU, and he ran a 300 as well. He won all those races, but coming here to Grand Slam track, unfortunately with those setbacks of the head cold and not being able to train fully to the best of his ability, that unfortunately did set him back. But don't sleep on what Stephen Gardner is capable of in the 400, even with those things that have been setting him back. But listen, Jereem Richards, he is on one. And Alex Ogando, he's in some good form as well. I'm looking forward to seeing what the field is able to do. Matthew Hudson-Smith, he unfortunately, he didn't do as well. Came up in 7th place in that 200. So, very, very strong, 400-meter field, but Jereem Richards, not to be slept on. Third thing I'm looking at is the fact that Marlita Paulino does not like to lose. On the outside, you had Sawa'i Nasser, who had just run 48.6 seconds out in Kingston. But Marlita Paulino, she was one lane inside of her, and she was like, nah, I don't want the same thing to happen. Now, I predicted, and I think most people had predicted that Sawa'i Nasser probably is going to take the 4, but she Paulino turned the tables, and she proved why she's the Olympic champion. She proved why she has so much grit. She proved why she does not like to lose. Came out here, she ran 49.2, so neither of them ran, as fast, but Paulino with that kind of signature style where she's able to come on very late and, was able to edge out Saweetie Nasser. After the race, Nasser, well, actually, even before then, after the race, I heard that apparently Marlita Paulino low-key she was going for the world record or going for an extremely fast time. Like, obviously, world record is insane, but the fact that she was attempting to go for something really, really fast, that proves that speaks to the mindset that she's really in, where she's still grinding, she's still pushing, and she still believes and knows that she is one of the best all time. 48.17, shows that you are literally one of the best all time. So, Marlita Paulino really showing up here. They're going to have the 200 coming up next, so that's one to look out for. Saweetie Nasser, she always goes out extremely hard. Her race pattern is to really blast it from the blocks and be able to hold on kind of in that last 150 or so. She did that today. She really went out very strong, and we saw kind of, I'm looking at it from from my vantage point towards the finish line, saw her coming around the curve, but Paulino really pushed through. Now, Nasser, she was extremely exhausted after the race, and she said that, she kind of just timed things a little bit wrong in terms of her execution. She wanted to get the win, but she didn't get it. But I wouldn't sleep on what's possible for Saweetie Nasser going into that 200. I think that Paulino might still have that slight edge because, she on paper is a stronger 200-meter runner, and she also did get the finish second place ahead of, right behind Gabby Thomas, ahead of Dean Asher-Smith and Saweetie Nasser in Kingston. But we'll see. Very, very good matchup there. And shout out to all y'all. I know that, I put Isabella Whitaker, down the pack. She ended up finishing fourth place here behind Alexis Holmes. So Isabella Whitaker from lane 1 as well. This was an amazing performance for her, and shout out to Alexis Holmes, 50.4 as well. So great movements, 400. So those are 3 things I was looking forward to and really did stand out to me, but a couple others I did want to address. The women's 100, I want to be very clear at first. I was, of course, completely wrong. It was hard for me to predict, a full top 8. I did think that Tamari Davis was going to get last because I thought that other people were going to, be a step ahead, but Tamari Davis completely proved me wrong, getting that second place, but Melissa Jefferson getting the win, running 10.75 seconds, just ahead of Tamari Davis, who did also run 10.7, but it was unfortunately slightly windy. I think it was plus 2.4 meters per second. So the times unfortunately won't count. And Melissa was like, in her post race, she was like, oh, I thought it was so close. But that proves that Melissa is someone who has that grit, has that focus, has that determination, despite going up an extremely competitive field. You had, Melissa Jefferson getting the win. Tamari Davis, she was out like a freight train. Put Tamari on that 4x1. Put Tamari on the leadoff leg of Melissa Tamari, that's going to be a good one. But she's like an explosive athlete out the blocks. Favor Feely, again, windy, but running sub 11 seconds, just in third place. Gabby Thomas, also windy. She was unfortunately kind of a little disappointed after the race, but she ran, 10.9 seconds. So very, very competitive field. And it proves, again, Melissa Jefferson is one that you do not want to sleep on. I feel that Melissa Jefferson is almost coming, I don't want to even say coming into her own because she's gotten the bronze medal. She's won USA championships, but I think we're entering a phase where Melissa is going to be a very, very dangerous athlete. Now, yes, you have the Sha'Carris, you have the Julians, you have the Sharikas, you have the Shellys, and all these other athletes who are very much at their peak, on paper better than Melissa. But I would not be surprised to see Melissa continuously make some consistent progress. I spoke about this a little bit, when Anavia Battle had got the win at the Shaman Diamond League. When you get these wins, early in the season, quote unquote early in the season, but, consistent wins over strong fields, this is a confidence builder. This builds that motivation, to prove that, you are one of the best. And I think that's what's happening for Melissa Jefferson. And on top of that, I do just want to give a huge shout out to Tamari Davis. She really proved herself here. We know her. She's made the 2023 World Championship team. She's run on 4x1. She's one of the best athletes in the world. And I love to see the fact that she's, hopefully getting a lot more consistent. She's one of the few athletes that has come directly out of high school to go pro and is really proving that they can compete with the best. So shout out to Tamari Davis, shout out to Melissa Jefferson, and shout out to Favor Feely, in that third place spot. Amazing performance there. Of course, there was other races. We had the men's 400 meter hurdles where Alison Dos Santos got the strong win there. You had Chris Robinson getting second place. That's going to be big going into the 400 because we know he's the current world leader at 44.1 seconds. But Alison Dos Santos is not someone to be played with. He also has a strong 400, so it's not as fast as Chris Robinson. Alison Dos Santos has run 44.6, but he is more than capable of being one of the best in the world. So we'll see how that does kind of play out in the men's 400 as we get to the next, next race on Sunday. But this was a good competition, man. The overall, that women's 100 hurdles, man, that was a good one. So I don't know, let me know what was your favorite part of day one. I know that the stands were looking pretty good, smaller stadium, but it was looking pretty good. The energy, at least in the stadium, did also feel like it was on point, and everyone was with it. I also feel like there was a different dynamic being here in Miami compared to Kingston, where Kingston with the massive stadium, 30,000 people, we were coming just a week or so after champs. I think there was a different dynamic here. The idea of it being in the United States, this, with mostly American athletes, and especially in those sprints and the hurdles, I feel like there was a different energy in the stadium today that was really felt, and a lot of athletes spoke about how they loved it. So I don't know. I'll be interested to see how the next 2 days go, but this was a good one. So let me know what you thought about day one. What were your key takeaways? What were some of the things that you found to be really exciting? What are some of the things that you think that they potentially might need to improve upon, whether it's, from the competition or even, from the broadcast side, from y'all that might have been watching? Let me know what you think. Be sure to like the video. Oh, last thing as well. We got a couple things coming up this weekend, so stay tuned to my channel. Also, Coach Rob, stay tuned. We got some things coming up. So always appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching.